So we are back right now. This is huge. We have Russell Simmons in the house.
Yeah!
Brian Robbins from Awesomeness TV. How are you two?
Very good. Good to see you.
And this is a huge day for everyone here. A lot of announcements, including yours you just made of your partnership.
Oh yeah, that's right. Do I need to hold this thing?
You need to hold.
Have one.
Well, I have a lav. You know production.
Yeah,
so yeah, hold it like your spoken word.
I get that often.
Right, you have to go high up right here.
Half a guy. Yeah. So yeah, we announced today, but we've been working on building out this space. ADD it's called.
Yeah.
All Deaf Digital.
You just have to bring it up. So
All Deaf Digital, ADD.
Yeah.
So we launched that. Now we're launching that, and we've been meeting with people. Yesterday I signed Spoken Reasons, so I thought, but we want to manage, and we want to do all deaf videos, like everything, all deaf comedy, all deaf music, all deaf poetry, all deaf. It's like this whole space seems underserved, and I think that although I'm late to the party, I do have globalgrind.com, which I was kind of a content site, and that's fun. But I think in terms of just really taking artists and broadening them across different media, I think that there's no one really there managing them properly, or managing the sites properly, or helping them to make money on. So we're gonna do a multi-channel network, and I just think that there's a hole in the market, and I think. It's not in advertising, it's not in, a little bit in advertising, but it's not in music for sure, but it seems to be in Hollywood. It's like, every time they say diversity, they say do more black stuff, right? That's not what I meant. I meant like America's integrating, and this is post-racial America, and it's underserved. And I think that people consume content differently from the way most people are putting it out or packaging it, and that's what I want to do.
And tell me how Awesomeness and you are going to work together.
That's my man.
Well, I know.
I met him as a kid. He was just a kid.
Yes.
And he made a movie.
Really?
He made a movie called The Show that he produced and directed.
Yeah.
And I was
First
in
movie
it.
I ever directed was for Russell.
No way.
Yeah, called The Show.
For
I went to him and I
Russell.
said, hey, I want to make a movie about rap music, and he looked at me like, who are you?
Right.
But he supported me and let me do it. And that was my first start. That was the beginning of it all for us. So.
And now you're getting.
I'm paying it forward now.
Yeah, no, it worked out for you, right?
Yeah. So his experience, obviously. He could talk about Awesomeness. I think it probably should tell him a little bit about.
Well, Awesomeness launched 6 months ago,
Yeah.
and we're sort of the teen-tween destination now on YouTube as one of the original channels, and it's been a really great run. And we
Sort of bullshit. To tell him the truth.
You are rocking it.
Right.
We're doing very
You are
well.
the next generation Nickelodeon. That's like how it started.
Yes, sort of like if MTV and Nickelodeon and CW had a baby, they'd be Awesomeness. That's what we'd like to do.
We're all paving our own path, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
So, Awesomeness is comedy, music, sports, scripted drama, and we're going to follow the same model a little bit with ADD. Is that we want to sort of, for that audience, for that sort of urban millennial audience, we want to be there. We want to make great comedy. We want to do scripted comedy. We want to be in the music space.
I wanted to own a network, and I opened my office yesterday, by the way, in LA. And I wanted to come to LA and buy a TV network, and I explored everything. And they said, "Oh, we're doing a diversity thing. You could have 5 million subs. Like 5 million subs, like not enough, to do anything. And you have to go crawl around your stomach like a snail forever. I'm too old for that. So then, I don't want people telling me what to do. And I want, also I want to let people speak. With all this user-generated stuff that's not really monetized. You have to curate it early enough. You have to wait till it's Justin Bieber to say, "Oh, look what I discovered." So you have to be open. And I just saw a guy on your network who we would try to chase down is actually in the next room, so that's good. And then
Jamal.
Jamal, yeah, people like Jamal. I want to speak to Jamal. I want to brand people across all forms of media. I want to give them an opportunity. I think that Hollywood lacks an understanding of how to integrate properly in a way to really speak to this post-racial America. They should be in the front, and instead they're in the back. And I think that this gives me a chance to build out a network that speaks this language, this urban graduate kind of language. And Brian, is, who's proven to be an expert, is
and in an amazing short time. 6 months in internet time, though, it was almost like a few years.
It is a few years. It feels like many years. But look, you know this because you're in the space. This is an opportunity for someone like Russell, someone like myself, to build the cable networks of tomorrow, right? 20, 25 years ago, no one knew what CNN was. No one knew what ESPN was, right? This is now what that was then. And who better than Russell to sort of speak to this audience and create the next generation cable network.
Brian took a turn as a guy who grew up like urban. He's like this hip hop guy. He's part of our target, even though he's an really urban graduate
Well, slightly older.
Right, exactly. I'm saying, but I didn't want to say that because
23. You're 23.
Right, but he still is like. There's so many people who grew up urban and locked out of it because it's so segregated, this world. And I think that that's where the opportunity is. Of course, there's a space, because since there's nobody black either, but there's also this space, this integration, and all the people, 80% of the people on Global Grind are not African American, and it's about the way that these things convert, and there's a whole. And so,
what type of audience is that? I mean, the thing is, you don't want to title an audience, right? Because
I don't like to do that.
That is segregation.
But I just think that that's what I think that we want to avoid is making a title. But we also know that all the people who buy into the culture do have there is a psychographic. We do want to have put some kind of like all deaf describes everything. If it's all deaf comedy, all deaf poetry, all deaf music, all deaf anything, it kind of describes a space in the marketplace, And I think, and also that's what I've done my whole life, and delve into this integration, this kind of pop urban phenomena that really is the driving force in American culture. I mean, and from an advertising standpoint, you look at it like this is the audience that decided a Maybach over a Phantom. De Beers would look at them and say, oh, green diamonds are in because they're wearing green diamonds. And they would be right, And so Pepsi over Coke, Coke over, they make a lot of good decisions. And they kind of spread ideas everywhere, like the way they chose the president. They kind of spread ideas into different races and religions and everything. And there's a common space that is this pop urban America that is underserved.
I think it's interesting. You're this.
I'm out of breath. I'm sorry.
You're just really passionate. You're really into it. I think it's interesting because it's interesting. You're a mix between a content creator, an entrepreneur, a mogul. Like, what do you consider yourself as? Like, do you ever define yourself, or how do you?
I try not to.
I like to
say I'm a yogi.
Yes,
I like to say that because I want to operate from a good space, and I want to be a good servant, and I think. Like, and I want to, like I always also concerned when you watch Global Grind, there's something about this psychographic that is really a progressive, compassionate element, and whether anything, any kind of right you can think of, any gay or animal or civil rights, anything, to do with freedom, I think this audience promotes it, exudes it, and I think that's part of our, that's what you get from the people who grew up listening to suffering, that's pop, and I know it because that's exactly what shines in front of this audience. So I have proof of concept through globalgrind.com, and I have, and I have a real passion for this audience, and I believe it's the heart of America, and it's kind of, again, it's underserved.
I think it's awesome because it proves that you're gonna, as we continue the landscape of YouTube, it'll get more sophisticated. It's not gonna be just about the viral videos and the cat videos and all that. It's like people actually do want to wrap their heads around something real.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's really just a distribution platform, right? I mean, honestly, right? It's not. It started out about cat videos and silly stuff, and that stuff's not going away.
Yeah.
But there's room for great scripted content. It's already been proven, right?
People are, they're stuck on. I mean, this idea that things are short. Look, they have TVs. The smart TVs are everywhere now. There's this, it's not like kids can watch. Like my kid's watching on Galaxy 2. She's watching movies constantly, and she's okay with the small screen, and she's okay with getting it off the internet, and she's okay with living on the internet, and she doesn't care about TV at all. I'm not saying TV is going to go away, but TV is going to accept, and it's not that kids are going to grow up and one day everything's going to be more digital because the kids have grown up. It's the adults are going to grow young because they have no choice. Like there was a moment they said, we're not going to text. Adults were like, we're not texting. You are text. You are going to text, and it's going to be next year this time, or 8 months from now. Quicker than you think you're going to be doing. So you'll be watching content that lasts a little longer than 6 minutes tomorrow morning as you're watching longer and longer. And we're going to make sure that, the creative content that we build out, as we monetize it more and as people realize how much more valuable it is to target your audience and understand your audience, there's going to be a lot of opportunity. And it's going to be for a lot of creative people who are not locked down by the constraints of these people who need to fit a certain model.
Yeah, we're creating our own. When is this launching? Do we have a launch date?
Spring.
It's launching in the spring. And I think this shows just how far we're evolving. People like you jumping in the game proves a lot.
I feel very late. I mean, I've been watching forever, and I have, of course, Global Grind was an example of like being online every day and being close to it. But actually building out content, I did think I was going to go to LA and open this office and start pursuing buying a TV network, a cable network. And the more I looked at it, the more, and the meetings I took with YouTube, they were like, what are you going to do that for? And they were the first, that was, you know, a year ago. They was like, are you kidding me? And then I met with the people who would give out the networks. They give out the little networks for diversity. And they're like, here's 5 million subs that crawl around on your stomach forever and still, you know, live with, you know, no money and no constraint. So YouTube actually was much, much more attractive. And this idea of freedom is really attractive as well. So I'm living with that.
Well, thank you so much for being here today for this big announcement. It's a big day, and we're obviously big fans of the space.
Did you make 300,000 today?
Well, 300,000 subs?
Yeah.
Probably right now we're sitting here.
Yeah, as we speak, we speak.
He's grown. Like, I want to say this because I don't like to hog the whole discussion, because he's actually done it. He's done what I want to do also.
Yeah.
So that's exciting, you know.
You're jumping into new space, new territory,
Yeah.
but it's where it's at. So
Yeah.
it's an important thing.
It's the same territory in many ways, though. You know, it's like building talent, crossing them into different media, giving them a chance to realize what they want to realize, and all that stuff is kind of just obvious, you know, to be here. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
I think do-it-yourself, DIY, is a trend, and entrepreneurs, whether heavy hitters and icons like yourself, or people that are starting from the ground up.
Or heavy hitters like yourself.
Or I am my own heavy hitter. Thank you so much, Ryan Russell, for being here. We so appreciate it.